And good afternoon. We welcome you into the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. What's up, everybody? It is a lovely Monday. Cold. Whew. Fingers are cold. Toes are cold. Everything's cold. Might have circulation problems, Rogers. I don't know. We got a lot of cold extremities. I'm wondering if the blood's getting there effectively. Nevertheless, we're here. We're hanging out. We're happy to have you with us. It is a big day. We have lots to discuss with all of the goings-on from the weekend. Your boy had a tough day at the office when it came to picks this week. I went 1-6, and just goes to show you, I don't need to be picking NFL games. It was bad. The only guy that saved me was Sean Payton this week. He saved me. Everything else was not good. But we'll go over a little bit of that. We've got, obviously, Saints to discuss. We've got Cowboys to discuss. Dak Prescott looking like the NFL MVP right now with how they are playing, and looking very much like the team that's going to win the NFC East and send Philly off on the road for the first round of the playoffs. The only issue being that Dallas is also facing a very daunting schedule down the stretch. Meanwhile, Saints move into a three-way tie in the worst division in football. It is ugly in the NFC South. A three-way tie for first, all at 6-7. And honestly, it's probably the way it should be in the NFC South, just given how ugly that division is. This is kind of how it probably should go. Bad news for the Saints is they have the toughest remaining schedule of all of the NFC South teams. So that's kind of the unusual thing, and the thing that's going to be a problem is the Saints have the hardest schedule remaining of the NFC South teams. So we'll get into some of that. The Saints winning ugly yesterday. It's not often that you win reasonably comfortably and people are not happy, but that seems to be the case with the Saints fan base. You have the quarterback and the linemen arguing with each other. Your quarterback seems to be kind of yelling at people left and right. And, what is that, leadership, or is that not? Obviously, McCoy didn't like it yesterday. So we'll get into some of that. Had a tweet go viral over the weekend, which was pretty wild, involving the Heisman Trophy. It's the first time I've really had a true viral tweet. It's gotten over 3 million views to this point, and still going. A lot of matter of fact, I've had a couple of different articles have been written about it from folks. So it's kind of fun. We kind of all think Twitter is dying, but hey, at least I got to get one. I got to get one viral tweet before Twitter goes ahead and completely dies out. So we got that going for us, and then we got your call. Don't forget Calvary getting the win on Saturday in come-from-behind fashion. Down, 9 with 3 minutes left, and found a way to come back and get a win, which is pretty amazing. So kudos to Rodney Guin and Calvary as they picked up the victory over St. Charles. Got their fourth championship for the Cavaliers, 2 under John Bachman and now 2 under Rodney Guin. The first one for Guin that was actually in the Dome. So kudos to Rodney Guin and his Calvary Cavaliers. Finished off an unbeaten season, and that is pretty awesome to see for those guys. Obviously, Guin, one of the best dudes in the business. And by the way, ended up flew from New Orleans to Dallas and did go to the Cowboys game last night. Dak Prescott has basically, he has left 4 season tickets for Coach Guin to bring whoever he wants, and those are every game. Guin has 4 season tickets. He can go to any of the home games he wants to. and he does. So good for him. Got the win. Got to hop the bird. Head on over to Dallas and catch a Cowboys win over the Eagles. So we got that. Only college game from the weekend, at least in terms of FBS, was Army-Navy. Ended up being a great game right down to the end, and we can get into some of that. And then whatever else is on your mind. You've got, obviously, Jaden Daniels wins the Heisman. So I don't think any of us around here were surprised, but I think a few folks maybe around the country were surprised. Not as surprising that Jaden Daniels was first in the South and the Midwest, or the South and the Northeast and the Southwest. Michael Penix, Bo Nix were the two guys that were in the Northwest and kind of the Midwest. So we can work on how that voting broke down. And as I mentioned, I had a viral tweet about the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and we'll kind of get into that because it was a pretty amusing moment. Now it turns out I'm glad I went back, and I actually had to go back and take a picture of the screen. I had already gone past it and thought about not even doing it, but I was like, I'm going to go back and do it. And now that has become a viral tweet. So that's what we got going on. Plenty of stuff to talk about on a cold, frigid Monday. We are glad that you're with us. We hope that you will stay with us. We hope that you'll continue to be with us from 1 to 3. Some news for the rest of the week. We will not have a show on Wednesday. Wednesday, my sister's coming in town. We got to deal with some legal stuff with my mom. So I'm taking off on Wednesday so we can handle all of our legal stuff. Get that taken care of. Tomorrow, we will have Cal head coach Justin Wilcox. So we already had Texas Tech coach Joey McGuire that's coming to the Independence Bowl. We're going to have Cal head coach Justin Wilcox joining us on tomorrow's show at 2 o'clock. So tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we will hear from the Cal head coach Justin Wilcox. So getting you set for the Independence Bowl, as we always do. We try to make sure that you are well taken care of and know what's going on, and we will go ahead and take care of that. Floyd sent in a note on the YouTube channel, said, I heard it on the X, which, that's a couple of people have mentioned that as potentially the Twitter slash, the Twitter / X theme music. Heard it on the X as opposed to the just regular tweets, but we'll probably stay that way while we're here. So, all right, shows 1 to 3, as you know, and hopefully you've been able to make the switch. If you haven't, I don't know why I'm talking, because you're not hearing me. If you're not currently here, you're not hearing me talk about you, which is understandable. We also had Shohei Ohtani had kind of cross town to go to the Dodgers, and he will, as someone mentioned that lives in the Los Angeles area, they were like, oh, well, the good news is Shohei Ohtani won't even have to move. And he's like, well, if you think Shohei Ohtani doesn't have to move, you're crazy. Like the commute from where he lives to where he's now going to be, as opposed to where he was, is apparently quite significant. So he likely will have to move, and he's got $500 million basically to or more than $750 million to make any kind of move he wants. I think he'll be able to find a place. I don't think he'll have an issue with that. So we got all that going on, and man, happy to have you with us. Saints fans would love to hear from you. Cowboys fans have been kind of quiet, even though you and the Niners look like the two best teams in the NFL right now. I would love to hear from you. Ravens found a way to get a win, and they are atop the AFC. So all kind of fun stuff in the NFL. Bowl season starts on Saturday. Obviously, the Independence Bowl is Saturday night, and we will obviously we'll be out there for that, and we'll have some thoughts on some of the other bowl games that are happening on Saturday as well. So I would love to hear your thoughts. No phone lines still. We put in a ticket to get the phone lines checked, and it is I don't want to give them the hotline. That's have you? Well, if anybody, I guess if you want to call. We don't have I don't think we have a fun little acronym for the hotline. But there you go. Don't worry about calling. Just text if you like. 318 is the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426 if you want to find us on the appropriately named
Bobby L. Green Plumbing.
There he is. Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. Find us there. We're also available on YouTube if you would like to see us there. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show. Jeff said, Otani is like if you're in Houston and you live in the Woodlands on the north side and take a job in Baytown on the east side of town. Dude, you're moving. Your commute just got like an hour longer. Yeah, Jeff actually lives in Houston, Jeff lives in Pearland, which is down in the southeast portion of Houston, and he actually had a job up in, I want to say the Woodlands maybe, or somewhere near there, up on the north side of town, and his daily commute was an hour each way. And I'll never forget, Rogers, he would call me on occasion during his commute, and my boy was developing some severe road rage from having that commute day in and day out. He ended up taking a job much closer to home, so his commute got a lot better and a lot shorter. But his commute for a while was all the way from the southeast portion of town all the way to the north side of town in Houston, and that was not fun for my boy. So I'm glad he found a job a little closer to home. He doesn't have to make that commute with regularity anymore, and I don't have to. The road rage is a little less than it was before. But yes, if you want to find us on YouTube, we are available there, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We are available in HD video. Well, I would say reasonably HD video. Yeah, we're close. It's probably that 11, maybe 720, may not be full 1180, but it is it's still a pretty solid picture. If you would like to watch us there on the YouTube channel, please subscribe while you're there. We're still on the hunt to try to get to 500 subscribers. So please help us out with that. Share the page. Tell your friends and family about it. I don't know if you tell your family. Hey, maybe over Christmas, right? Over Christmas, tell your family that they should all subscribe to the Patrick Netherton Show YouTube channel. Again, it's free. Costs nothing. Plenty of ability for you to go and watch and not have to pay for anything. It's great. And we can monetize the channel. And once we get to 500, it's just a little easy way for us to get a little extra in the pocket. Speaking of monetizing the channel and the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, if you are a fan of the show, you have a business, you would like us to get the word out about your business, well, you can do that. All you have to do is give us a text on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, and we can help promote your business here on the show. Again, 657-0426, 657-0HAM. And you can join the illustrious list of sponsors such as Bobby L. Green Plumbing, Two John Steak and Seafood, and other businesses that have sponsored the show and then not sponsored the show, and one that was supposed to be a sponsor and wasn't, and we have a list of those. We have a whole list. So if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, we'd love to have you. Again, just hit us up on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, and we can get you in. So again, youtube.com/@Netherton Show if you would like to watch the show over on the YouTube channel. We're also available, if you like, via Twitter or X. If you you prefer ZZ Top, you can on the X, whatever. But we are here on that platform where I just had a viral tweet or viral X. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, had a tweet go viral over the weekend, which was kind of fun. Never had that happen before. It was a little wild. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But that is at Netherton Show is the main feed. At PT Netherton is me. That guy over there is at Hey Boy Rogers. At Hey Boy Rogers. You can also find us on the app. That's a good way to tune in. 1130 The Tiger. Search for it on Google Play or your iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us in crystal clear HD audio. And now the man, the myth, the legend, everybody.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkinland.
Hey, boy.
Hey, boy.
Hi, man.
Hello.
What's up, my dude?
It's Monday.
It is.
Feels like it.
It does.
Cold,
Yeah.
2:30 in the morning. It's cold.
Yeah, that's it. And all the dews on the ground.
Oh,
so
man.
it's all the moisture in
Coldest
the air.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, between like 4 and 6, it's
Yeah.
just brutal.
There's moisture all in the air. Makes it
Oh.
colder. Ugh.
It was cold.
Yeah.
Sun coming out sure helped this afternoon.
Yeah.
I walked outside just a little while ago and I went, oh, man, what a difference between this morning and right now.
Yeah, it's still sub 60 too.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in the 60s for the next couple of
Yeah.
days, which is nice.
At least it's going to be consistent weather and you know
Right.
what to expect.
But the lows will be down in the 30s. I have not looked to see what the Indy Bowl forecast looks like. Let me do that real quick because we're kind of getting into that time period where they can more accurately
Oh, it's going to be
predict.
at 80 on Friday and
Right.
20 on Saturday.
Well, oh boy. Friday, high of 64, 25% chance of rain. Saturday, high of 56, 98% chance of rain on Saturday.
What's the time frame?
Let me see. It doesn't have
Let it go on. Get out of here in the morning. You go on, get rain.
So the low on Saturday is supposed to be 47 with a 90% chance of rain on Saturday night.
Oh, man.
Jeez. Literally the day before. Okay, Rogers, here you go. Day before, low of 49, high of 64, 25% chance of rain. Well, partly cloudy. The day after, Sunday, high of 65, low of 45, 11% chance of rain, partly cloudy. Saturday, the day of the Indy Bowl, high of 56, low of 47, 98% chance of rain. Like, Rogers, is it time to ask, is the bowl just cursed? Like, is there some, did they not, did they take the tiki idol off the island or whatever?
It's like when the fair is in town, you know the bad weather's
Oh.
coming. It never fails. They might get one good day and then 3 straight days of rain and then shut down at 6. It was just unbelievable.
Now, obviously, that's subject to change. I mean, we were told, this weekend, this past Saturday, it was going to be just awful. And there were massive storms and isolated tornadoes and all that. And we didn't get any of that. Now, they did get a lot of that east of here and especially in Tennessee. They got a lot of that. But we didn't get any of it. And we were told all week long, leading in, like, be ready. Saturday's going to be a bad weather day. Just be ready. And it was nothing. I'm not even sure we even got rain on Saturday. It all just kind of moved east of us. So this is all subject to change. But as of right now, Friday, 64, 25% chance of rain. Sunday, 65, 11% chance of rain. Independence Bowl Saturday, high of 56, 98% chance of rain. Oh, poor Indy Bowl. I mean, like literally, Rogers, of the next 14 days, I'm looking at the 14-day forecast. The high is in the 60s every single day except the day of the Independence Bowl. 62, 64, 62, 67, 64, 56, the day of the Independence Bowl. After the Indy Bowl, 65, 61, 60, 64, 66, 66, 65, 66, 62. There is one day in the next 14 where the high is anticipated to not hit 60, and it's the day of the Independence Bowl. Now, there's a few days there where the lows are down in the 30s, which obviously the game being at 8:15, you need the low to be a little higher than the high. You need the low to not be as low. And so the low on Saturday is only 47, which would be actually reasonably comfortable with the exception of the 98% chance of rain. Poor Indy Bowl. God bless them. I do feel for them. All right, so we were telling you that we had a viral tweet over the weekend. First one I've ever really had, and you never know what's going to go viral. You never know what might hit. So I'm watching the Heisman. I wait until like 7:50 to turn on the Heisman. I don't care about all the rest of it. I don't care about all the lead up, and none of that appeals to me. What I do care about is who wins, and then I like to try to hear the speech if I can. So I turn on the Heisman Trophy at like 7:50. I think it was right 7 to 8. I think turn it on at 7:50. They're just doing a little puff piece on Jaden Daniels. They're finishing up that. They get done, and now it's time for the presentation. Now, first, they bring up all of the old Heisman winners, right? And it's the guys from the 70s and the 80s. Well, they get to the guys from the 90s. And they're, and Chris Fowler tells you every one of the Heisman Trophy winners that's on the dais, right up on stage. And they're going through the 90s. Now, the 90s Heisman Trophy winners that were there: Desmond Howard from Michigan, Gino Torretta from the U, Charlie Ward from Florida State, Danny Werfel from Florida, and Ricky Williams from Texas. So they pan the guys that are the recipients, the former recipients of the Heisman Trophy. So they're panning, and they go from Desmond Howard, who obviously we all see every week on game day. Dude's 53 years old and still looks like he's in his 30s, right? Desmond's got the fountain of youth somewhere. Still looks amazing. Well, they pan from Desmond Howard to Gino Torretta. And Gino Torretta, also 53 years old, by the way. He is slightly younger than Desmond Howard by, I think, 3 or 4 months. And Gino Torretta looks like he's 65 years old. The hair's completely gray. Most of it is gone. He just looks he looks so much older than Desmond Howard. And they are literally the same age. They're both 53 years old. So I'm watching it, and I kind of had a little bit of a chuckle to myself, like, oh, that's funny. Look, Desmond Howard, Gino Torretta won a Heisman a year apart. And I had to go double check. I was like, did they win the Heisman a year apart? And I went and checked. Yeah, 91 for Desmond Howard, 92 for Gino Torretta. And so I just kept going. And they, they're showing the rest of them, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That would actually kind of be a funny tweet. Like, these guys won the Heisman a year apart. So I back my TV up. I take a picture of the screen. It ended up being a really good picture, too, which I'm glad of. Desmond smiling, Gino smiling, clapping. But standing next to each other, it brings into even more relief the idea that these guys are the same age, yet they look 20 to 30 years apart in age. So I take the picture, I post it, not anticipating that it's going to do anything crazy, do any kind of crazy numbers. I post the picture with the caption, "These guys won the Heisman 1 year apart." And it's Desmond Howard and Gino Torretta. Well, then a couple of people pick it up, and a couple more people pick it up, and it starts doing some numbers and, getting retweets and quote tweets and all that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't, it's not something I'm used to, but that's awesome, right? Starting to get some tweets or whatever. And then it just kept going. And then it started getting picked up by people that have real follower counts, hundreds of thousands of followers. And it was getting quote tweeted and whatnot. Well, as of right now, that tweet about it's literally just says these guys won the Heisman 1 year apart, and it's Desmond Howard and Gino Torretta. That has been it was its own article on Sports Illustrated's digital page. It was picked up by several of the various outlets. It made a couple of different pages as well. And it has now been viewed 3.2 million times. It has been retweeted 1,200 times. It has been liked 24,000 times. So it is literally the only viral tweet I've ever really had. 3 million views, 24,000 likes, 1,200 retweets, over 200 quote tweets, and it's mostly the same thing. The same two comments I've gotten over and over. One, black don't crack, about Desmond Howard. Two, white guys age like milk. Those are the two most prevalent responses to that tweet. And it is striking. They really do look like they are nowhere near the same age. So I decided, you know what, like a lot of people do when you get a viral tweet, you promote yourself. So underneath the tweet, I promoted the show, basically said, hey, go follow, because it was on my personal Twitter, at PT Netherton. I said, hey, go follow the show page, at Netherton Show, and follow or subscribe to our channel. And I put a link for the Patrick Netherton Show YouTube channel. That has been seen nearly 80,000 times, right? So at least I don't know if I've picked up, I don't think I maybe picked up a couple of people from that, but I put it under there, and I figure it's the most publicity the show's going to get, so why not? And there was one comment under the promotional tweet of, feel free to go follow at Netherton Show or subscribe to the channel with the link. One comment under there from a guy who has 0 followers. And his comment is, nah, F your show. The only comment under my promoting of the show was, nah, F your show. And he didn't say F. He used the 4-letter word. I showed that to several friends, one of whom said, oh, I guess Rogers has a burner account now. Like, well, if I thought Rogers knew how to make a burner account or an account at all, then I might think he would do that. But I don't believe my boy has the time nor the inclination to go make a burner account on Twitter. So there you go. We had a viral tweet. It was picked up by a bunch of different outlets. It's also on Instagram. It's had over 5,000 likes on Instagram and a bunch of comments. It's on Facebook. So pretty cool. I never had a viral tweet, Facebook, Instagram, any of that stuff. So pretty neat to have that happen, especially over a tweet I wasn't even sure I was going to send to start with. So there you go. All right, we got a lot of things to get to. We've got to get to the Saints, the Cowboys, the NFL playoffs in general. We'll go over my picks from this weekend. It was not a good weekend for your boy. Talk NFL in general. We got Justin Wilcox from Cal coming up tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And whatever else comes up, we'll talk about it. LSU, Heisman Trophy, Jaden Daniels, all of that. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. And follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We'll be back.
Janes, Director of Sales for Shreveport Bossier's Town Square Media. We're adding to our team of sales professionals and may have a place for you. This position isn't for everyone. It's hard work, but also fun, fast-paced, and can be very financially rewarding. Town Square Media works hard to provide a total media plan for our partner clients and help them grow their businesses. Our client's success determines our success. If you have past media experience with agency and direct business, want to make more money, and want to grow your career, apply today at ShreveportJobs.com. No calls, please. We have an excellent training program and won't just kick you out the door and tell you to go make a living. We offer all aspects of marketing for businesses, including websites, broadcast, video, display, programmatic options, and more. Town Square Media is on the grow, and we have excellent benefits. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer. Females and minorities are encouraged to apply. Send your resume today to ShreveportJobs.com.
The holidays are the happiest time of the year. That is, unless you or your loved ones are miserable because of colds, sinus infections, or allergies. This holiday season, give the gift of better breathing with Navage. What makes Navage so effective? Well, unlike cold and allergy drugs that might take a long time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage provides fast relief from sinus congestion in 30 seconds flat. Navage doesn't just relieve symptoms, it attacks the cause by sucking out the germs, allergens, and viruses trapped in your nose that are making you feel miserable. Best of all, Navage does it naturally, without drugs. Wash away your cold and congestion problems this holiday season. Add Navage to your gift list so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
We're your local bank in your community. So come on in and say hi. You'll like what you see at your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. We're gonna make it right for you every day, every way. We're at your service. At GBT. At your service. GBT. Come on. We're more than a bank. We're more than a site. We're the friend you turn to when it's gotta be right. No matter how big, no matter how small, we're here to serve you and we give it our all. 'Cause we're at your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. We're at your service. At GBT. We're the Gibbsman Bank and Trust, and we're at your service. GBT.
Member FDIC.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Welcome back to the Patrick Netherton Show.
Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger, Rogers and Patrick, that's us. Hope everyone's having themselves a wonderful day. You can get in touch with us if you like via the YouTube stream. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show is how you get in touch with us there. You can also find us on Twitter and the app, and we're on Facebook, although we don't do a live stream on Facebook anymore, but we do it on YouTube. So feel free to check us out there. YouTube.com/@Netherton Show. Subscribe to the page while you're there as well. Marco said that 10-minute opening was all about sports. Are you okay? LOL. Yes, I'm fine. It's just, we're sometimes we talk about sports, man. It was a big weekend. A lot of stuff happened. So we talked about it. Cocky said, why did the Heisman ceremony need a live band? Did they have a live band there? I didn't. Like I said, I tuned it in at about 7:50, or whatever the last 10 minutes was. That's when I tuned it in. I did not tune it in any time before that. So yeah, about 7:50, I tuned in. They did a little piece on Jaden Daniels, and they had a thing with his parents. They talked to his parents, and then they brought up the old Heisman winners and announced the trophy. So, I did not tune into most of it because most of it's just fluff. Most of it is, oh, here's the Marvin Harrison story, and here's the Michael Penix Jr. story, and just on and on. I don't care about any of that. I just wanted to see who won and then hear the speech. We kind of all knew it would be Jaden Daniels. It was, rightfully so, much to the chagrin of a lot of people. Oh, he padded his stats against bad teams. He was consistent, man. He put up big numbers against basically everyone on the schedule. IT Man said, how would one who does not have any social media see this viral tweet? Well, you wouldn't. You wouldn't see it because you don't have social media. Although a couple of different websites did, like we mentioned, the SI had a little thing on it. There were a couple of different places that had it on their websites, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it was available. It's out there, just even if you're not on Twitter or any of that stuff. Like I said, there's a thing called The Spun, which is one of SI's kind of little daily things. It had an entire article that was just about that tweet and the responses to it. So, yeah. Double J said he can helicopter anywhere in Houston if he wanted. Yeah, although, I'm a big fan of driving more than I am air travel, if I can help it. Double J said, send the Tiki Idol to me. I'll see to it that Vincent Price gets it back. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I feel like they the Indy Bowl took the Tiki off the island or something. Was that what it was, Rogers? They took it off the island or kept it or something?
Well, they took it out of the cave.
Oh, they took it out of the cave. It had to. Yeah. Yeah, anybody keeps it. Yeah. They had to give it back, basically. Yeah, took it back to the cave. Vincent Price hanging out in a cave. Yeah, and then kidnapped them. And it became a Scooby-Doo mystery at that point. Basically just became Scooby-Doo. Was that a movie? Or was it it was like a special? It was 2 30-minute episodes. But was it during the normal course of the show? Oh, because it feels like one of those. Right, it feels like one of those where it should have been a standalone special or something. Brady Bunch. Let's see, Brady Bunch, Tiki Idol. Rogers, you can buy it online. Rogers, can I not buy the Brady Bunch Tiki Idol? I believe we've seen what happens. So, let's see. The Brady Bunch Hawaii trilogy. It's the first 3 episodes of season 4. So there you go. Called Hawaii Bound, Past the Taboo, and the Tiki Caves. The whole family invited to Hawaii when Mike's company sends him there to check on a building he designed that's being constructed. It was a good vacation at first. Then Bobby finds a tiki figure, thinks it means good luck. It really means bad luck. Gives the tiki to Greg for good luck in a surfing contest. He falls in the water and is nowhere to be found. Eventually, they find him. He's fine. The women folk are walking to a hula dance lesson. Alice finds the tiki statuette, assumes Bobby must have dropped it, so she takes it with her. During the hula lesson, Alice pops her back and freezes. Carol, Marcia, Jan, Cindy help her to the hotel room. While Bobby's wearing the idol around his neck as a pendant, a heavy wall hanging falls down and nearly bonks him in the head. While Jan has it, a tarantula spider gets into her purse, but she doesn't notice. And then Peter wears it that night to sleep. The spider returns and crawls on his chest. He hollers in fright. Mike puts the arachnid in a paper bag and throws it away. The next day, the boys start to realize the tiki causes bad luck, not good luck. They go to an old Hawaiian gentleman. He tells them that they have to get to a cave to remove the bad luck. They go to the cave and get trapped by a mentally disordered archaeologist. The family comes to save them, though, and they all go back home. The end. Oh, man. Rogers, here's some trivia about these episodes. It's the only episode that showed Jan and Marcia in bikinis. Jan is shown to have a blue, orange, and pink bikini. Marcia is shown to have a purple bikini. Ironically, Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia, was extremely afraid of having to appear in a bikini because she felt inferior to Eve Plum, who played Jan. And during the beach scenes, she almost always attempted to cover herself even more. The infamous Tiki Rogers is in possession of Barry Williams today, who played Greg. He found it around 2000 in a Paramount prop room while producing a TV movie based on his book Growing Up Brady. That was the TV movie where what's his face played the dad, played Mike. And it was who played the mom? Oh gosh, wasn't it Shelley Long? Didn't she play the mom? And Lumbergh from Office Space. Can't think of that dude's name. I think he played the dad. I think those were the two, the mom and dad. Or that might have been the actual movie. Let's see. Now we're going deep dive into the Brady Bunch, Rogers. There was the Brady Bunch movie, A Very Brady Christmas, Growing Up Brady, A Very Brady sequel, The Brady Brides, The Brady Kids, The Brady Girls Get Married, A Very Brady Renovation, and so on and so on. Florence Henderson. No, she's who played the original, right? No, I'm talking about I thought it was Shelley Long who played, I think that was the Brady Bunch movie, I believe. Yeah, okay, so Growing Up Brady, which is the one we're talking about, was based off of his book, but that had that was more of a tell-all story. The Brady Bunch movie, yes, Shelley Long, Gary Cole, who played Lumbergh in Office Space, they were Mike and Carol. Okay. And it was basically just the Brady Bunch, but just in a movie. So there you go. Then the kids entered a talent contest and ended up winning enough money for them to go at it. So there you go. I thought, that's okay. That's the one I was thinking of. Was the Brady Bunch movie was the movie I was thinking of. All right. Back on track, everybody. Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30. The Tiger, Rogers, and Patrick. That's us. Lawrence on the YouTube channel said, I watched KTBS at noon and they show a 30% chance of rain on Saturday. None of it matters now. Need to wait until Friday night. Maybe they'll know for sure by then. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's always conjecture, but it is funny that today, the one really bad weather day of the next 14 is the day of the Independence Bowl. Like, it's just kind of the luck that the Indy Bowl rolls with, it seems. And it's unfortunate for them. Double J said, you may want to specify on your Tinder account that you went viral, but you're certainly not viral. I mean, I could, but look, I could put that, that I'm worth $1 billion on Tinder. I don't think it's going to change anything. I still ain't getting any matches. Pump Man said Florence Henderson. Yeah, she played the original. She was the original. I was talking about in the movie, and it was Shelley Long and Gary Cole who played the parents, Mike and Carol. Carol Brady? No. So that's the one I was thinking of. Luckily, I figured it out. And there was one other Christine from Dodgeball. That ended up, the one that came in and played on their team. She was actually, I believe, she was Marcia in the Brady movie. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Double check that. Yeah, Shelley Long was Carol. And the funny thing is, they actually had several of the original cast show up in sort of walk-on roles. Yeah, Christine Taylor, who at one point was, I believe, married to Ben Stiller, She was indeed Marcia. Gary Cole was Mike, and Shelley Long was Carol. Yeah, Christine Taylor was the one I was thinking of. That yeah. So there you go. All right, couple of texts. Cocky said, "Did Sam the Butcher deliver lots of sausage?" Now was he dating Alice? Right. That's how that all went down. And they went to his shop on occasion, right? Didn't they? Okay. I thought there was like I don't remember how many sets they had, but I feel like they went to his shop. Yeah, go to his shop and yeah. And he was always wearing the butcher apron or whatever. Yeah, well, you gotta give a little extra sausage to your lady, Rogers. Marco said, OMG, not Lumberg. That movie was my life in Dallas for 15 years, minus the money scheme. Ugh. That's Office Space. I know you never saw it. It's a great movie, by the way. But yeah, it's if you're a fan of the drone and monotony of being in an office, cubicle, that kind of thing, then you will appreciate Office Space. And Stephen Root's in it, and he's hilarious. Lumberg is great, and it's actually Rogers, a very young Jennifer Aniston, that is in that movie. She actually plays the love interest of the lead in that movie. So yeah. And you also have Diedrich Bader playing the next door neighbor hilariously. It was awesome. So very good stuff. Marco just sent an image. Oh, it's his stapler, his red stapler. I believe you have my stapler. You wouldn't get any of these references, Rogers, but that's my stapler. Believe you have my stapler. That's Stephen Root, who was amazing. In his role. IT Man said, found it. Yeah, you did. You found it. You just went on Twitter and looked for me, and there's the tweet right there. Sitting with 3.2 million views. And he said Gino Toretta looks really old. Yes, he does. Like, he really did. It was crazy how much older Gino Toretta looked than Desmond Howard. And it's funny, we've had, Rogers, you remember we had Desmond Howard on the show a few years ago, and his wife was a big tweeter, so got to know her a bit and actually sent her that tweet. She loved it. She thought it was hilarious. And at that point, it was just barely going viral. Now it's on fire. Double J said, I'll bet Rogers would have loved to have taken a bat to the old studio equipment. Probably not playing the Ghetto Boys, though. Yeah, that's a scene. That there's a printer that doesn't work, and they replace it. So they take it out into the field and just beat the hell out of it. Much like there is some equipment we wouldn't mind going Office Space on that in the old studio, that's for sure. Certainly could have done that. So there you go. All right, so we got to talk about Saints. We need to talk about the Cowboys, both getting wins over the weekend. We had Army-Navy coming down to the wire. It was an awesome game there, especially towards the end. And Army gets the W. Then don't forget, tomorrow we're talking to Cal head coach Justin Wilcox. No show on Wednesday. Then we'll be back for our normal fun and frivolity on Thursday and Friday. So all of that going on. It's the Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Hambone, that's him. Patrick, that's me. Find us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. We'll be back.
This is Ernie Johnson Jr. Sports is about overcoming obstacles, and college coaches work hard to help young men overcome Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's called Coach to Cure MD, and you can help. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online to coachtocuremd.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501. Help coaches cure MD.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Spoiled supermarket meat, sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Ho, ho, hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pet.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU sports, a Town Square Media station.
It's time for the main course with Rogers Hampton. Here's your host, Patrick Netherton.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelf.
This actually reminds me of the song from the Pee Wee movie when they're on the, was that Twisted Sister, right? I think that was in the Pee Wee movie. Believe that was Twisted Sister. They were filming the video when he was going through. Yeah, after Paul Rubens died, they actually talked to Dee Snider. The Long Island Band made a cameo in 1985's Pee Wee's Big Adventure. They ran into each other at an MTV party on New Year's Eve one year, expressed their mutual admiration for each other. They exchanged numbers and moved on. When Twisted Sister came to California to play a string of sold-out concerts opening for Iron Maiden, Dee Snider received a phone call. Pee Wee heard that we were in town, called up and said, "Hey, I'm doing this movie." He said he was talking in a very normal voice, not a Pee Wee voice. He said, "Would you do a cameo?" Snider said he was interested. Rubin shared his vision for the scene. Ideas that were on the Warner Brothers set. I'm being chased by Santa Claus and Godzilla. I'm on my bicycle, and we come riding through a Twisted Sister video shoot. Said Rubens, he knew Rubens was a fan of the band's music, so he tried to zero in on what song they would perform in the scene. Like, We're Not Gonna Take It, or I Want to Rock? And Pee Wee goes, "No, man, Burn in Hell." Snyder's like, hell yes, Pee Wee, Burn in Hell, metal. So there you go. So they were playing Burn in Hell. And Dee Snider was on the hood of the car. And the whole band was in the back of the car, like in the the cab. It was a convertible, and Dee Snider's on the hood, like crawling and singing. And was that how the video actually was for "Burn in Hell"? I mean, I know. I don't know if they made a video either. There you go. So it said Dee Snider remains grateful to Rubens. It was an incredible experience to see filmmaking at that level. The experience gave me the bug to start writing screenplays and things like that, and I guess led to the point where I wrote a musical, Dee Snider's Rock and Roll Christmas Tale, in 2014. So there you go, Rogers. I think am I right? Do those sound kind of similar to each other? Burn in Hell, that like bass line of those two songs kind of seem to sound similar to me. Right. I mean, don't they all? Yeah. So apparently, Rogers, the actual music video for "Burn in Hell" was indeed the same concept that was done on Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He was on the hood of a car. Like, I guess they just recreated the music video as if they were recording it for the first time. And apparently, it's officially banned for some reason. Don't know why, but apparently officially banned. So there you go. All right. Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30. The Tiger, Rogers, and Patrick. That's us. Your phone calls, can't have them. Phone lines are down, but we will take your text messages on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, 318-657-0HAM, 318-657-0426. You can also reach us on the YouTube live, youtube.com/@Netherton Show. All right, let's start with the Saints. We'll get to the Cowboys in just a moment. Saints, very lackluster. They get the win. Luckily for them, the Panthers are awful. I had not really watched the Panthers before and didn't appreciate just how terrible they were, but they are not good. They have a little bit of talent out on the outside. They got some receivers that can play, and Bryce Young certainly seems to have the physical ability to play the position. But the offensive line isn't great. Bryce Young, for whatever reason, decision making's not good, and it shows. Right, when you add the combination of a young guy with dealing with offensive line woes. Occasionally, there were a couple times he put a pass on a receiver and they dropped it, things like that. I mean, they just weren't going to score a lot of points. It was ugly. That was a tough watch. Meanwhile, I mean, here's the thing though: Bryce Young threw for 137 yards in that game and had more yardage than Derek Carr. Derek Carr had 38 yards passing with 8 minutes left to go in the game. He hit one long ball down the stretch and then hit the slant to Olave for the touchdown and hit one to Jimmy Graham for a touchdown. But all in all, a very ugly performance for New Orleans. That's a game they should have had salted away before the fourth quarter, and it was 14-6 going into the fourth quarter. You never really thought, oh, the Panthers are going to find a way to come back in this game. They just didn't look like that kind of offense. Obviously, the Saints defense played a lot better, especially against the run. Chuba Hubbard had 87 yards rushing, but needed 23 carries to get it done. So the Saints' run defense was a lot better against a team that's not bad at running the ball. Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. Now, they did end up running for over 200 yards when it was all said and done. That's not great, but they had to run it 39 times to get there. That's still a 5.2 average, right? Now, a major difference in that is 40 of those yards came from Bryce Young on 3 carries. All right, so you take Bryce Young's numbers out of there, and it's 36 carries for 164 yards. You can live with that. Bryce Young averaged 13 yards a carry. Chuba Hubbard averaged less than 4. Miles Sanders averaged 7 on 10 carries. But again, you never really felt threatened by that Carolina offense. Bryce Young ended up 13 of 36 passing for 137 yards. When you add in the 4 sacks that he took, the Panthers ended up throwing for 99 total yards. They ran for 204. Crazy enough, they outgained the Saints. Saints ended up throwing for 110 and running for 97. Saints' run game it looked great for like 2 drives. The Saints' run game looked like they were going to run for 300, and then it just vanished. And they went, I want to say 5 or 6 possessions in a row where they did nothing. I'm not even sure they had a first down. They ended up getting a touchdown late. That made it 21-6, and that kind of was the finishing touches. At that point, you knew the game was over. Then they get the turnover on downs, cash that in. So it looks a lot better at 28-6 than it was. It was 14-6 for a large portion going in that fourth quarter. They found a way to get that last drive to get the 21-6 lead, and then after that, it was that last touchdown was just sort of a garbage touchdown to kind of make it look better. Derek Carr was booed a lot. He ended up 18 of 26 for 119 yards with 2 TDs and 1 pick. The pick was by a defensive tackle. As he threw the ball, a defensive tackle batted it to himself and came down with it. Again, there is, and then you had, there was a protection breakdown, and Derek Carr's yelling at Eric McCoy, his center, and Eric McCoy turns around and starts yelling back at him. They had to be separated as they went to the sideline. Nothing about this Saints team inspires any sort of confidence. Yes, they're 6-7. They are tied for the divisional lead in a just awful division. Terrible division. But this team is dysfunctional as hell right now. They do not look good. They do not look strong. You give up 200 to Carolina on the ground. If that's a team that has an even decent quarterback, Carolina probably finds a way to win that game, or at least tie it late. And then you find out where you're at that point. The Saints offense just doesn't look to be in any way in sync. Kamara has 12 carries. He's averaging nearly 5 yards a carry, right? Jamal Williams has 11 carries. He averages nearly 4 yards a carry. The dysfunction in that offense is pretty amazing. You get Kamara 15 touches in that game, right? Kamara should be getting 20 touches in a game, 25 touches in a game, and yet he didn't. Look, it's not as dysfunctional as that Minnesota Vikings, Vegas Raiders game was. That was awful, but it was still brutal there in the middle. Let me go back and find in that third quarter, the Saints went. Here we go. From that first touchdown, the Saints went punt, interception, punt, then scored those last 2 touchdowns. So they got up 7-0. Carolina gets the field goal to answer. And then the Saints have an opportunity to maybe put this thing away a little bit. They go 16 yards punt, 3 yards interception, 10 yards punt, -1 yard punt, 2 yards punt. That's now 14-6, and we're in now the fourth quarter before they finally get a touchdown. They go 5 plays, 64 yards, had that one long pass play in there that they were able to get to A.T. Perry for 44 yards, and then they were able to kind of get it through from there. But that was, you had an opportunity to finish that game early, and you didn't. It starts off with Blake Grupe shanking an easy field goal. Then you get the nice touchdown drive. You ran the ball effectively. And then punt, interception, punt. 5 punts in a row, and you didn't gain more than 10 yards. You gained 16 yards in one drive, and that was it. That's the most you gained in any of those 5 drives in a row with an opportunity to go up. Now, keep in mind, your defense, or really your special teams, gave you 7 of those points. So, in reality, the offense versus their offense, it's 7-3. Then it's 7-6. And it was 7-6 until the very end of the game. They finally got it done with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth. They finally scored that touchdown that pulled them ahead, now 21-6. And I'm saying 7-6 because special teams gave you a touchdown. Again, I know they're tied for the division lead in a terrible division. Nothing would make me giggle more than if the Saints hosted a playoff game and either the Eagles or the Cowboys came to the Superdome and lost, right? Nothing would make me laugh harder than that scenario, because it's the exact opposite of what the Saints had to go through in 2010, I believe it was, when they had to travel to under 500 Seattle, and that was the Beast Quake and all that stuff, and Seattle beat them. That was like an 11-5, 10-6, 12-4 type Saints team. And they had to go on the road, which is, again, the NFL's postseason, they get it mostly right. But the idea that you are going to host a playoff game simply because you won a division is not right, okay? It hasn't been right from the start. It continues to not be right. Whoever wins the NFC South does not deserve a home playoff game over either the Eagles or the Cowboys. One of them is going to travel. Either the Eagles or the Cowboys, whoever loses the NFC East is going to win the wild card, and one of them is going to end up going to the NFC South champion. And that just should not happen. Because the NFC South champion is likely going to be 500. Well, that can't be 500 now. likely going to be worse than 500. Right? If you tell me that the NFC South champion is 8-9, that all three of those teams go 2-2 down the stretch, I would absolutely believe it. The schedules are actually up. Bucks at the Packers, Jaguars at home, Saints at Panthers. Very easy to go 2-2 with that schedule. Falcons at the Panthers, Colts at the Bears, at the Saints. They have the easiest run of it would appear. The odds to win the NFC South right now, according to FanDuel, Buccaneers number 1, Falcons number 2, Saints number 3 in terms of odds to win the NFC South. The good news is they all play each other down the stretch, so it will be decided basically on the field, which is nice. But come on, man. You cannot tell me that the NFC South deserves a home playoff game, whoever it is. Bucks, Falcons, Saints, none of them deserve a home playoff game. And they're going to get it. And that's, to me, ridiculous. It's brutal is what it is. James on the YouTube channel said, I love Patrick Netherton and his show, The Patrick Netherton Show, on weekdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Thank you, James. Appreciate the very bot-like message on YouTube. Very kind of you. Thank you so much for that. And appreciate you loving the show. And we love you, James. You know that. I will get to see James on Saturday afternoon for the first time in a while when the Demons take on Rice. That's actually a really nice little home game. If folks, you want to do a double dip like I am, want to do Northwestern State Rice, that's going to be a great game in Natchitoches. Then you turn around and head to back up to Shreveport and go catch the Independence Bowl. You can do the double dip. I recommend it, by the way. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting to do both of them. Meanwhile, Demons are on the road at Boise State coming up on tomorrow. Women's basketball at ULM. Crazy enough, the Northwestern State men's game against Boise at Boise is not televised. In this day and age, how is a Division I basketball game at a home team site not televised? That's crazy nuts to me. That's one of those things I really can't believe. I'd understand if it was a neutral site game. I could get that. But really? An actual true home game for Boise, and that one is not televised? When literally every game that Northwestern State plays is televised, except for that one. Once you get into conference play, every game is televised. Almost every game is televised in non-conference play except the one in Boise. Heck, even the neutral site games between Northwestern State, Maine, and Presbyterian in Jacksonville, Florida were televised. And the game at Boise is not. That's just, in this day and age, that's insanity, is what it is. All right. James said, I love the Northwestern State Daemons. That's the old Norm Fletcher, the guy that used to be the voice of the Demons back in the day. He would do the voiceover for our intros. And he would always say, the Northwestern State Demons. He had a very, demon. And his voice was really deep. I mean, he had one of those great voiceover voices. We used him for the radio intro forever and ever. Let's see. Double J said, if the Saints are a dumpster fire, how about the defending women's national champions down in Baton Rouge? Kateri Poole is gone. Mulkey's laying down the law. Well, they're not a dumpster fire. They've lost one game. I mean, if you want to say they should be undefeated right now, I'll buy it. Kansas State is who beat them, and they're pretty good. Wasn't it Kansas State, or was it? I thought it was Kansas State. It might have been Colorado State. No, I'm going to have to go look up their record. Yeah, I mean, look, a player leaving is not that big a deal. That's not a huge thing. I have issues with Mulkey, but it's not really, it doesn't involve it's Colorado they lost to in Vegas. I'm not all that concerned with what's going on in Baton Rouge, right? Something went down with Angel Reese. We don't know what. She sat out her time. She's back. Meanwhile, you lose your first game to Colorado, they are since 9-0. They beat ULL by 30. They beat Virginia Tech in Baton Rouge by 18. A close one in the Cayman Islands against Virginia by 3. Beat Niagara by 30. Beat Texas Southern by 60. Beat Southeastern by 23. Beat Kent by 30. Mississippi Valley by 60. Queens by 60. So, look, I'm not at all concerned with what Mulkey has going on, right? She knows how to coach. She knows how to get her team ready. They will face a reasonably easy schedule the rest of the way. McNeese at home tomorrow. Then Sunday they've got NSU, got Northwestern State at home. Then at Coppin State in Baltimore. Then Jacksonville University at home. And then they get into conference play in January. So I'm not super concerned about what Mulkey has going on. All right. Should they have been preseason number one? Probably. But I'm not worried about what they have happening, right? They brought in a ton of transfers. They've gotten Michaela Williams, the girl from Parkway, who was the number one recruit in the country. Mulkey is not a dumpster fire. I don't like some of her viewpoints. I'm not a fan of some of her sort of personal opinions, and I wish she said things a little differently than she does, but you can't argue with what she does on the floor, right? What she does on the floor is 100%, without a doubt, unquestionable. She's won multiple national championships. She came in and won a national title for LSU in year 2. Like, you cannot question what she is. She's the fastest to 700 wins in the history of basketball, not just for the women, also for the men. So there's no questioning what she does on the floor. That's not a dumpster fire. There may be some off-the-court issues here or there, but on the floor, they continue to get it done. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Got to talk Cowboys, talk a little bit about that Army-Navy game. We'll recap what happened with the Patrick's Picks and Moody's Moneymakers. And don't forget, we have 2 games tonight starting at the exact same time, which makes a ton of sense. We'll be back.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-294-8831 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-294-8831. That's 800-294-8831. What do you have to lose? Call 800-294-8831. Again, 800-294-8831.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
We're your local bank in your community. So come on in and say hi. You'll like what you see at your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. We're gonna make it right for you every day, every way. We're at your service. At GBT. At your service. GBT. Come on. We're more than a bank. We're more than a site. We're the friend you turn to when it's gotta be right. No matter how big, no matter how small, we're here to serve you and we give it all. 'Cause we're at your service. At GBT. At your service. At GBT. We're at your service. At GBT. We're the Gibbsman Bank and Trust, and we're at your service. GBT.
Member FDIC.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Floating through the airwaves like smooth hickory smoke, Patrick Netherton.
Patrick Netherton Show, 11:30 The Tiger, Rogers and Patrick, that's us. What's up, everybody? How are we? Hope everyone is doing well. Saints and Cowboys on the brain after yesterday. Also had a 3-0 game, which featured an immaculate half, according to the Sickos Committee, who is one of our favorite Twitter accounts. If you're not following the Sickos Committee, we highly recommend you do so. They just celebrate all the weirdness and badness and strange things that go on in the course of college football and college basketball and the NFL on occasion. And yesterday had an immaculate half in the Vikings-Raiders game. That game ended up being 3-0. And when I say an immaculate half, let me tell you what I'm talking about here. By the way, it's the lowest scoring NFL game in 16 years. And the immaculate half featured in the first half punt, 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 missed field goal, punt, punt, end of half. So that was the almost immaculate half. The actual immaculate half happened in Rodgers' game. It happened the first half of Jets and Texans. That was the actual immaculate half. My apologies. They had a near immaculate half in the Vikings 3-0 win over the Raiders. So the first half of the Texans, went like this. Punt, 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 punt. End of half. There were a couple of drives that went longer than that got into double digits, but they were very few. Texans 21 yards punt. Jets 54 yards punt. Texans 2 yards punt. Jets 1 yard punt. Texans -8 punt. Jets 33 punt. Texans 7 punt. Jets -3 punt. Texans 1 punt. Jets 1 punt. Texans 25 punt. End of half. And then crazy, after scoring nothing in the first half, the teams combined to score 36 in the second half. And the Jets come away with a big win. We have EH on the line. EH joining us on the hotline. Our show brought to you by Bobby L. Green Plumbing and Two John Steak and Seafood. EH, what is up?
Dude, it's very painful to watch NFL, and thank goodness I have to watch that game. This is the first year I haven't had the NFL package. I was like, okay, I'm not. I don't do YouTube. I like Fubo because the Astros and the Pelicans, but like just watching the Kansas City game, and I really wanted to watch the San Francisco for my fantasy, but whatever. Just watching the Kansas City game alone with the commercials and the timeouts and the injuries, watching the first half of the Saints game, it is boring.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Well, and especially when you've got Cowboys, Niners, and of course ended up being a blowout, or you got Cowboys, Eagles, right? When you have good games, then you can sit through the commercials. I'll be honest with you, most of the time when I watch the Saints, if I have my druthers, I'll start watching like in the third quarter, and I'll go back to the beginning so that I can zip through the commercials. I'll most of the time I'll spoil myself because I don't care. I just don't have the passion. I just need to watch the game to kind of be knowledgeable about it. But most of the time I'll start, middle of the third quarter. I'll go back to the beginning and I'll watch from there. Now, if I look at the score and it's opponent 31, Saints 7, I'll probably just skip it entirely. May not even watch it. I'll go back and watch the YouTube highlights. They do the little 11-minute highlight package afterwards. I'll go do that. But if I'm just around on a Sunday like yesterday I wasn't doing anything. So I had it on, and to be honest with you, I was doing emails, I was checking other things. Like I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it. Because it was very boring. But it was also two very mediocre teams. Which is crazy because I would have thought the Texans-Jets game might have been a blowout the other direction. Right? The Texans had seemed to be on a roll, playing really well. The Jets kind of a dumpster fire. And then it was 0-0 at halftime, and then the Jets just blew them out after that, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. This was one of those weeks, EH, and I talked about it on Friday when I was making my picks, and I had to make mostly NFL picks because I only had one college game. And I was mentioning that these lines all looked a little weird. Right? They all looked a little wonky. And I said, this must be one of those weeks where it's kind of, you think you know what's going on in the NFL, but you really don't. And it turned out that was one of those weeks, right? We thought we knew the Texans were pretty good. The Jets beat hell out of them in the second half. I guess we didn't know that, right? We thought that New England was dog mess, and they beat Pittsburgh. We thought that Cincinnati was going to be bad because Burrow was down and they blow Indianapolis out. We thought Jacksonville, even with a hobbled Trevor Lawrence, was really good, and yet they turn around and get beaten by the Browns. We thought the Lions were one of the best teams in the league, and the Bears take them down. It's one of those weeks where you think you know what's going on in the NFL, and ultimately you don't. We thought the Chiefs were pretty good, and the Bills were on the downslide, and the Bills rallied up and got the win in that one. You thought the Eagles were the best team in the NFC East, and they get humbled by the Cowboys. So it's just one of those weeks that we always have in the NFL. It's usually 2 or 3 of them through the course of the year where you think you know what's going on. Oh, man, Charles Davis has some serious shelf work. Roger, check that out. My man has got some serious Christmas decorations going. Sorry, I just looked up and Charles Davis is on CBS. My man's got some great Christmas shelving going on behind him. But it's EH. It's one of those weeks where you think you know what's going on in the NFL and you really don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kudos to the Survivor people for Fletcher's to make it this long. But yeah. Going back to a little fluff, this isn't fluff, this is just sadness, but like the weather you're totally right. Like I had totally altered my Saturday plans. It was the really only real day I have off, and I'm like, it's going to rain because I saw her. Richard, whatever that guy is that does the breaks on the show, like, you know,
Richard DeWettigan?
Yeah, DeWettigan. They said it was going to be a you know, all this storm.
Yeah, bad weather days, storms, possible tornadoes, all of that.
Yeah, I could have been on a patio somewhere doing what Rogers does, but no, I'm all, you know, listening to that. So yeah, I hope they don't heed too much to that. But there's two things that I think the Episcopal and the fair, for that matter, need to do. So I mean, you already have one anchor on the other side, whether it's partially, you know, upright, but still an anchor, you know, which is Fairgrounds Field. And of course you got the Indy Bowl. It's like, just put a big old tarp around the whole thing, you know, so that'll alleviate the, you know, the weather concerns. And then a tarp around the Indy Bowl, whatever. And then just move the Taylor Swift tribute band to halftime. I mean, perfect solution.
Okay. So your solution is to come up with what money needed to put a tarp over Independence Stadium?
You know, we have B-52s. We could just, you know, maybe just, you know, float one in on a parachute and just tie it up. It would be a first. It would be, I mean, epic. I mean, I'm talking, people would go. They have protection. I'm telling you. But
EH, if I may ask EH, what either medicinal or non-medicinal products are currently coursing through your system? Because I don't know what the hell that is.
No, it's just a joke. I'm on fluff mode. I think the weather's going to turn out fine.
I will say this: by the way, how hilarious is it that they put up a stadium that has a roof in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, and the very first game has a rain delay?
See?
Yeah.
You can't always, you know.
You can look. I'm sure City of Shreveport has a few billion lying around to put into a huge roof structure over the top of Independence Stadium.
Well, didn't the old and I was there, but it didn't rain. But one time, the old Irving Stadium and Cowboys, I mean, it was just open. So I mean, literally, it could be a rain delay because But I mean, your fans were nice and cozy, but the players got, you know.
Yeah, well,
drenched.
there was a couple times they had that little slot in the hole in the roof open, and it snowed, and the snow was only on like a part of the field because it was falling down through the hole in the roof. Yeah, that was the old, there's a hole in the roof of Cowboy Stadium because God wants to watch his favorite team or whatever. Yeah. Look, here's what you do, EH. This is actually very simple, right? You go to one of those tent making companies. You know, when you go out to a tailgate, right? And they've got those big tents on poles. It's just the top, the canopy basically. Just go to one of those canopy companies and just say, hey, we need you to erect like a 1,500-foot canopy, right? Just put like 12 poles around Independence Stadium, erect like a 1,500-foot high canopy, and that keeps the rain out. Now it's going to still be windy and it'll be cold, and the rain might blow sideways through it, but at least the rain will not fall on you from the top. Now the real issue you're going to run into there is all the runoff, right? Because that's one of the things you get in trouble with when you have like you go to a tailgate and they've got like a canopy over you. And then it starts to rain, and then it's just nothing but rainwater dripping off the sides of the canopy, and you can't you don't want to leave because you're gonna it's gonna go right down your neck, right down the back of your neck. It's gonna just make you feel terrible. Yeah, that's gonna happen. So just look, that's the only thing you have to worry about is just how do you direct the runoff on the canopy. But this is simple, man. Just put erect like 20 poles around Independence Stadium. Put a giant tarp on top of them like a big canopy like you'd find at a tailgate, and enjoy your Independence Bowl. Yeah, and then, how do you, come up with the money? I mean, look at the big old tarp. That's free advertising. Just, little patches. I mean, you could, Netherton show could get a good old patch on there. Sure, somebody can look, you could even do like projections on the bottom of it. Right, it could operate a lot like the giant video board at Jonestown in Dallas. You could just have the projection of the game right on the roof.
I'm thinking you're gonna have to call Missy Setters to get on this.
I actually saw her on Friday. I went by and picked up my credentials, and got to chat with her and Eric for a bit. They're in full. By the way, they have a bunch of Texas Tech helmets in there. They look really sharp. I really like the Texas Tech lids. They looked really nice.
Yeah, hey, they go back to the old days. They played like Ole Miss like 3 times. Hey, last question. So I really think, since you are the Kansas City barbecue expert, but you don't really, and people have asked this, you got to like listen to your followers here, that you really rate like local, like, establishments and stuff, and do really a review. But I think y'all should make it into a mini kind of like, look a barbecue pit off, and then sponsored by the Patrick Netherton Show. But my question is, if you had Rogers like to do beer tasting too, like could he beer taste? Like you can eat different types of barbecue, like
right.
I don't even know the different types, but I mean dry, wet, whatever. You can do it.
Some sweet, some spicy, some have a more savory flavor, all that stuff.
But would he flag every like
non-Budweiser-ish?
Yeah. Like everyone of.
I've told the story. I've told the story, right? That we went to New Orleans. He was freshly with his lady friend, and we go to the Louisiana Pizza Kitchen or California Pizza Kitchen, whatever it was. We were just having lunch, and Druda was hungover. He had a bunch of margaritas at Superior the night before, so he was hungover. He was not drinking. I don't drink. And it was Rogers and his and I believe my lady there or not, Rogers? I can't remember. I think it was just me and Rogers and his lady friend. And so basically it was going to be them two drinking, right? It was me and Dave were not drinking. So
and he's not going to drink.
Correct. Well, you think that. But we're there, and we're in New Orleans and whatnot, and so the waiter comes by, a server comes by, and he's like, would get yourself something to drink, and Dave's like, I want a tea. And a water because he was hungover. I was like, I'll take a Diet Coke, which I always get. And then, Rogers is going to order a Budweiser, as he would. And his lady friend was like, babe, which is what she says to everybody, babe, why don't you try a local beer, right? Why don't you branch out a little bit? And now they had only been going out a couple of weeks, so she doesn't really know or understand the depth of the Budweiser fandom when it comes to Rogers Hampton. So
she didn't understand the assignment.
Yeah, she's like, babe, why don't we try something new? And I'm kind of like shaking my head over there, and Rogers is like, So she goes, why don't we try an Abita, right? It's a local beer. It makes sense. If you're in New Orleans, you try a local beer. It makes perfect sense, right? If you come to Shreveport, you go to Great Raft or one of the other breweries and you try a local beer. It makes sense. Well, she's like, why don't we do that? And he's like, So he asks the server, sir, does Abita taste anything like Budweiser? And the server laughs and says, no, not at all. And he's like, and she's like, all right, well, let's get a pitcher and 2 frosty mugs. And I'm like, why don't you get a bottle or 1 glass and try it? If he likes it, then you get a pitcher. Because I asked her, the first thing I asked her, I said, can you drink an entire pitcher of Abita beer? And she's like, oh, absolutely not. I'm like, then why are you ordering a pitcher if you don't even know if this guy likes it? I know him. I've known this guy at that point for like 15 years, right? I know who this human being is. I said, so you can't drink an entire pitcher. I said, instead of getting the pitcher and having all that beer, why not just get a glass, get a mug or a bottle or whatever, try it. If he likes it, then, hey, we'll order a pitcher. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get a pitcher. He'll be fine. All right. Pitcher, 2 frosty mugs. She pours the first frosty mug, puts the pitcher down. I'm watching him intently because I know it's about to happen. I don't know what the aftermath is going to be, but I know he ain't going to like it. So Hambone takes the frosty mug. He takes a sip, tastes it, okay. Takes the rest, pours it back into the pitcher, and then pushes the pitcher as far away as humanly possible from himself at the table without it actually going over. And I'm sure if it would have been okay for him to push it onto the floor, he would have pushed it onto the floor. But that's not, it's not a polite thing to do. So he pushes the pitcher as far as he can. She hops up and runs to the bar, gets him a bottle of Budweiser. Our boy Druda watches Rogers drink the Budweiser. Says, first time I've ever seen a glass bottle cave in from someone sucking it so hard. And he downs the Budweiser. The server comes back and is mad because the significant other went behind his back to go get a beer at the bar and didn't order it through him. So now he's mad. Rogers is mad. The pitcher of Abita is going to go mostly unused. And now, a lesson is learned, a costly lesson, as it were. So
it never
to
gets
answer your
old.
question, no, Rogers Hampton would be a terrible judge of beer because anything that didn't taste like Budweiser is getting a 0. And he likely wouldn't even try it.
And this trumps the, if I'm not going to drink, like if let's just say, last question, if he was at the event and, you're doing your deal and it's going to be long and there's a lot of tasting, if there was no Budweiser available, would he, just cave in and he's not going to drink?
Rogers, would you like to answer this question for him?
Yeah.
The answer to your question is no. Here's the thing: if there's a reasonable facsimile, right? A Miller Lite, a Coors Light, something that's a reasonable facsimile of Budweiser or Bud Light, then he'll be able to figure it out. He'll be able to stomach it. But if you go to a place and all it is craft beers, and they're all like, no, this is like a stout, and this is like an IPA, and this is like blah blah, and he says, are any of them taste anything remotely like a Budweiser or a regular light beer? And they say no, then he's just going to have water. That's it, or tea. That's the Rogers Hampton experience. The one time we went for barbecue, that Sunbird was hosting a barbecue thing. Oh, he hung up. The one time Sunbird was hosting a barbecue event at which brewery was it, Rogers? I can't remember. I know I can't keep them all straight. It was the one on Linwood, and we go in there and I'm like, do y'all have a beer that tastes something approximate to Budweiser, right? Or Bud Light or Miller? And they're like, yeah, we have a light Pilsner, which is, kind of similar to a Bud Light or a Miller Lite or whatever. And we ordered it, and Rogers drank it. He said it wasn't amazing, but, it wasn't so far off that he couldn't stomach it, right? So he got it. But if you go into a place and there's nothing but craft beers and none of them are a Pilsner, a light Pilsner or something akin to Budweiser, if they're all IPAs and Guinness and heavy drafts, he ain't drinking it. I'm just telling you. Like, Rogers would be a terrible judge of, for that matter, he'd be a terrible judge of food too. Like, let's not get that wrong. You show up with your, I got this great bite. It's got jalapenos on it, and it's got like chili peppers, and yeah, he's not eating it. So the moral of the story is, don't ask Rogers to judge things unless they are 100% American. Like, you want him to judge a burger contest? It better be burgers. And they better be reasonably well done. All right? There better not be any garbage on it. He doesn't want any of that, he doesn't want any pepper jelly. He doesn't want any of that, no kind of peppers on there, onions, none of that stuff. Which I get, Rogers. I'm with you on that. I'm a simple guy myself. All right, it's the Patrick Netherton Show. We'll come back, read all these texts that we've got on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line, and we'll wrap the show up after that. We'll be back.
Afraid of monsters in the dark? There's nothing to fear. You'll have a monstrously fun time. Play Monster Money from the lottery. You could win up to $13,000. Play all 4 spooky scenes. So, for a heart-thrilling experience, stop in at any lottery retailer and ask for Monster Money with a top prize of $13,000. Be warned, it could be a frighteningly fun time. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
It's Macy's Great Gift Sale. Take an extra 20% off gift ideas from designers they'll love with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of great deals on women's sweaters, coats, and PJs, 25 to 50% off. Beauty essentials from Origins, Elizabeth Arden, and more, 25 to 40% off. And the season's hottest toys, 15 to 50% off. Plus, everyone gets $10 Macy's money for every $50 spent. Now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 800 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 800. LumeDeodorant.com, code 800 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 800.
Spoiled supermarket meat sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Ho, ho, hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend. A freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out. Paid for by Dr. Marty's Pets.
Are you ready to take your brand to new heights? At Town Square Media, your success is our ultimate goal. At Town Square Media, we understand that reaching your audience across various platforms is essential in today's fast-paced landscape. One size fits none in the realm of marketing. See firsthand how Town Square Media crafts tailored solutions that align with your unique goals. Whether it's increasing brand awareness, driving sales, or fostering community engagement, our ability to customize strategies that deliver exactly what you need when you need it. Town Square Media isn't just a partner. We're your brand's most passionate advocate. See how Town Square Media can transform your vision into a reality that resonates, engages, and inspires. Call and schedule your free business analysis today. 318-688-1130. 318-688-1130. Your brand story starts here with Town Square Media, where innovation meets impact and your success is our priority.
If you're looking for the finest in seafood, the finest in steaks, and a beautiful ambiance, you're looking for Two John's Steak and Seafood, 2151 Airline Drive in Bossier City. It is absolutely spectacular, from the New Orleans-style courtyard to the ambiance of the bar to the elegance of the dining room. The best steaks, the best seafood, one of the best wine lists in town, and don't forget Friday lunch, where you can have a beautiful ribeye burger, just the tastiest one in town. It's Two John's Steak and Seafood, and make sure you tell Big John we said hello.
Bobby L. Green Plumbing has been in business for over 6 decades, 60-plus years. That's remarkable, since technology is always shifting and times change. Not only has Bobby L. Green Plumbing survived, they adapted to the modern marketplace, and they've thrived. Green Plumbing can spot trouble faster and repair it quicker using the latest technology. That eliminates your discomfort and saves you money. Bobby L. Green, the Green Team, the plumbing team you like best.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Tiger weather now.
Mainly clear skies and cold for us here tonight. Temperatures drop all the way down to around the freezing mark. Lots of sunshine for us on Monday. Temperatures Monday afternoon reaching highs right around 60 degrees. It'll be milder as we head into midweek. Mix of clouds and sunshine Tuesday, mid-60s. More clouds and sunshine Wednesday, low to mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
The previous program was paid for by Tim Fletcher, LLC. KWKH and K277DO Shreveport, 103.3 FM and 1130 The Tiger. Bossier City's home for LSU Sports, a Town Square Media station.
Let's get to the meat of the matter with producer Rogers Hampton.
Hey, boy!
Here's your master of ceremonies, Patrick Netherton.
It's not quite running up that hill, but it does have some fun little there you go. Patrick Netherton Show, 1130 The Tiger. Rogers and Patrick. Let's get some texts on the Bobby L. Green Plumbing text line. Cocky said, will Mulkey become the closest thing to a female Bobby Knight? I don't know. The thing is, it doesn't feel like she's that demonstrative on the floor. Like, you would never, I don't know. I don't feel like she's that angry. But maybe I'm wrong, right? I mean, the stuff that got Bobby Knight was, he's throwing chairs. Mulkey doesn't have that sort of on-court persona. Now, is she choking players in practice? I don't think so. But we didn't think Bobby Knight was putting his hands on players either until we saw practice video of it. So I don't think Mulkey has the same temperament as Bobby Knight. I think she has... she's a lot of ways a reflection of her mentors, right? Leon Barmore was always, you heard how his practices were legendarily hard, right? He drove the players. Someone would cry at every practice, but the games were easy compared to what they went through in practice. And you watch Leon during games, and he rarely did anything. He would just sit on the bench and just hang out, right? And his team would do what they were instructed to do. He had it, sort of drilled into them. I feel like Mulkey is a little more outwardly demonstrative than that, and certainly is a little more controversial because she's not very open and revealing about a lot of the stuff. With the Angel Reese stuff, she didn't tell us what was going on. That's her prerogative, obviously. But it's not like, we all feel like we have the right to know. Is she on the team? Is she suspended? What's going on? And she just wouldn't say. So that's the stuff that I think you kind of see maybe some similarities with Bobby Knight, but I don't think she has that sort of angry temperament that Bobby Knight does. And also, she's way more successful than Bobby Knight ever was. Pumpman said the officiating in the Army-Navy game was horrible. I didn't catch a lot of it. I kind of tuned in sort of middle of the third quarter. I didn't see anything that I thought was egregious. So I didn't, nothing. And of course, I'm not rooting for or against either team. So that obviously makes a difference for me in that it's not a big deal to me who won or lost. So I'm looking at it from a strictly neutral perspective. Buck Naked said Harbor Freight has some cheap tarps that can be connected. There you go. Now we're talking. I'm just thinking of like, Rogers, remember when they put the big, when Sportran was downtown and they put those big like pointed canopies up over the bus line? Now it's a food truck plaza or whatever. I'm just thinking of that, right? Like, couldn't you do something like that just over the stadium? It cost a lot of money. And it's probably ill-conceived. As soon as you get a really strong wind, that thing's just flying off into Bossier. But I don't know. Feels like you could do something. I just don't know what. Double J said EH must be nostalgic for the old Metrodome or the Montreal Olympic Stadium roofs. Too bad the Duck Commanders aren't still the sponsor. Could just make it a giant duck blind. Yeah, the problem is, though, duck blinds are not really covered. They kind of are covered, but not, you still have to be able to shoot out of them. Some duck blinds are, fully roof, a full roof on them. Some of them are kind of lower cut where you have the open, it's open above you. Some of them kind of have like the slanted roof that goes out and just kind of covers you up on the back side of the blind, but then you still have the big opening in the front. So it just kind of all depends. Chuck said about the Rogers Abita story, she was crap testing him and he passed with flying colors. No, I can assure you she was not testing him. She just didn't know the Budweiser passion that lay within our boy Hambone. She did not know that giving him something that was not in any way a Pilsner, light Pilsner, anything remotely akin to Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, any of those beers, she was going to be in trouble. And again, my issue was not that she wanted him to try something new. That makes sense, especially early in a relationship. Oh, no, here, taste this, right? It's not that. It's the fact that she went to a pitcher. Had she just been like, let's get a bottle, because then I asked her, I said, can you drink an entire pitcher of beer? No. Okay, then don't order a pitcher. Because I can tell you he's not going to like the Abita, and therefore you're going to be stuck with the pitcher. Dave's not drinking. I don't drink. So order a bottle of Abita if you want him to try it. Here, give him a sip. He tries it. I don't like it. Okay, then I can finish the bottle. And Rogers can get a Budweiser. Like, just to me, that's the part that the part that offended me is that, not the wanting him to try something new. I'm offended by the fact that she wanted him to try an entire pitcher of something new. At least make sure he likes it first. Rogers, that's like if you have a kid and you're like, well, I'm just going to get this entire giant, I'm going to get this 12-pack of applesauce, not knowing if the kid even likes applesauce. Find out if they like it before you order it in bulk, is all I'm saying. Marco said, Bass is a really good European beer, closest thing to Budweiser I've ever had. Tastes like a very crisp Bud. Never even heard Bass? Roger, you ever heard of Bass? Never heard of it. I mean, it's a European beer, so I'm not sure they have that in the Circle K down the street. But I like the thought anyway. I like the thought. Hey, don't forget to go and subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Netherton Show. Oh, I've seen that logo before. Okay, I've seen the logo. I don't know that I knew it was a beer. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Netherton Show, trying to get to 500 subscribers so we can go and do some cool stuff with that. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and all of that. And enjoy my viral tweet that I had. It's pretty awesome. And it's true. Gino Torretta and Desmond Howard do not look the same age at all. All right, that's it for me. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. I'm assuming they're back in the studio this week. They are next. They'll have a lot of talk, I'm sure, about Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman, which we didn't cover a lot, but we may get into a little bit tomorrow. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Justin Wilcox of Cal. Then we're off on Wednesday. For Rogers Hampton, I'm Patrick Netherton. Please be safe and careful out there, everyone. Want to see you back here tomorrow, 1 to 3, on the Patrick Netherton Show.